This being our third day, we're right in the middle of the school.
Nüüd olles 3. päev, see tähendab, et me oleme täpselt keset kooli keskpaigas.
There's a concept in America that you hear from time to time about the middle section.
Ameerikas on üks kontseptsioon, mida sa kuuled aeg-ajalt, mis tähistab siis seda keskkohta.
And of course Americans are known for many times many cartoons and projecting really many joyful moments.
Ja ameeriklased muidugi on tuntud paljude multifilmide või karikatuuride poolest, mis tähistavad selliseid rõõmsaid hetki.
And one of them recently, you have this camel walking through an office.
Ja üks neist oli hiljuti üks kaamel, kes oli kõndimas läbi kontori.
And he gets to each of the workers in the office and he said, "Do you know what day it is?"
Ja siis ta jõuab iga töölise juurde ja küsib, et kas sa tead, mis päev täna on.
And of course they're not very excited about their work, of course.
Ja muidugi ega nad eriti põnevil oma tööst ei ole.
And so finally he comes to a certain lady working at her desk and he said, "Do you know what day it is?"
Ja siis lõpuks ta jõuab ühe naise juurde ja küsib tema käest, et kas sa tead, mis päev täna on.
And it's a camel now. A camel is asking the question.
Kaamel küsib neid küsimusi siis.
She said, "It's hump day." The camel's hump.
Et täna on küürupäev. But hump day also means the point where
Yes. Yes.
Et küürupäev siis jah. See tähendab seda, et siis see on see koht, kus hakkab nüüd allamäge minema.
Yes, it's the place where you're passing over, you're crossing over.
See koht, kus siis nüüd hakkab üleminek.
So being that we're in day number 3 of 5.
Nii et 5 päevast olles 3. päevas.
This is hump day.
Täna on siis see küürupäev.
All right. I have shared many things with you.
Ma olen jaganud palju asju teiega.
And I basically tried to convey really just a few ideas, but using many thoughts.
Ja tegelikult ma olen püüdnud edasi anda mõningaid asju paljude mõtetega.
When I spoke of Levi,
kui ma rääkisin Leevist
and how that Moses came from that tribe,
ja kuidas Mooses tuli sellest suguharust,
he modeled for us the principle of relationship and being joined to the Lord.
Siis ta modelleeris meile seda suhet ja kuidas olla liidetud issandaga.
And the importance of that is that you will not go very far in God without a relationship.
Ja miks see on oluline? Selle tõttu, et sa ei saa minna kaugele, kui sul ei ole suhet issandaga.
I could have just as easily spoken on the idea of intimacy with the Lord.
Ma oleksin võinud rääkida samamoodi ka intiimsusest issandaga või lähedusest temaga.
Because when you speak of being alone with God, that's what we're talking about.
Sellepärast, et kui me räägime üksinda issandaga olemisest, siis see on just see, millest me räägime.
The clearest model of that in the human experience is the husband and the wife.
Ja kõige selgem näide sellest inimelus või inimkogemuses on mees ja naine.
Now many times we will entertain friends in our homes.
Sageli me võtame vastu sõpru oma koju.
But when you share the table with a friend, you have just become more intimate with that friend.
Aga kui sa jagad leiba sõbraga, siis sa oled saanud temaga lähedasemaks.
But there's a greater level of intimacy that occurs in the home.
Aga on veel üks sügavam see läheduse või intiimsuse tase, mis kodus toimub.
And that is between the husband and the wife.
Ja see on mehe ja naise vahel.
And that should not be intruded upon by anyone.
Ja sellesse ei saa sekkuda, ei tohiks sekkuda mitte keegi.
Now if you study the Song of Solomon, there's a beautiful principle that projects this idea.
Kui sa uurid ülemlaulu, siis see on suurepärane raamat, mis räägib sellest ideest.
And what the Shulamites said concerning the shepherd is that he has taken me into the green room.
Ja mida suunemlanna räägib siis karjasest, on see, et ta on viinud mind rohelisse ruumi.
And he's allowed me to experience his couch.
Ja ta on lubanud mul kogeda tema diivanit nii-öelda.
Now, the concept of the couch is the bed, the place of rest.
Nüüd see diivani idee on siis puhkamispaik.
So one of the great ideas behind intimacy is to enter into the Lord's rest.
Ja selle intiimsuse taga üks suurepärane idee on siseneda issanda hingamisse.
But why choose the idea green room?
Aga miks valida see rohelise ruumi idee?
Because green is the color that is associated with life in the scriptures.
Sellepärast, et pühakirjas roheline värv on midagi, mida kasutatakse elu puhul või mis tähendab elu.
And so what she was saying is that he has taken me into the room of life.
Nii et mida ta siis ütleb sellega on see, et ta on viinud mind eluruumi.
And he's allowed me to experience his rest.
Ja ta on lubanud mul kogeda oma hingamist.
Now if you look at this from the tabernacle of Moses,
kui sa vaatad seda Moosese koguduse telgi põhjal,
the green room would be the holy of holies.
Siis roheline ruum oleks kõige püham paik.
And the couch would be the ark of the covenant and the mercy seat.
Ja see diivan oleks lepingu laegas ja armu aujärg.
Because that is the place designated to experience the fullness of his life.
Sellepärast, et see on paik, mis on määratud selleks, et kogeda tema elu täiust.
So there are many things that you can teach with this concept of being alone with the Lord.
Nii et on palju asju, mida sa saad õpetada selles kontseptsioonis, kus olla üksinda issandaga.
Of course, we shared a bit on the idea of being solitary with the Lord.
Ja muidugi me jagasime veidi seda mõtet ka, et olla nagu eraldatud või üksinda issandaga.
I have noticed through the years that often Christians are afraid of silence.
Ma olen märganud aastate jooksul, et sageli kristlased kardavad vaikust.
Have you ever been in a meeting when it was clear that the Lord wanted us to be quiet and somebody had to make some noise?
Oled sa märganud või oled sa olnud kunagi teenistusel, kus selgelt on näha, et issand tahab, et me vaikiksime, aga keegi peab ikka mingit häält tegema?
Because it's difficult for us to speak to our souls and say, be quiet.
Sest meil on raske oma hingele kõneleda ja öelda, et vaiki.
I remember those times so vividly because someone would start speaking in tongues when God wanted us to be quiet.
Ma mäletan neid hetki väga elavalt, kui keegi hakkas rääkima keeltes, kui isand tahtis, et me vaikiksime.
And as a leader, you must tell them, not now, not now.
Ja siis juhina sa pead neile ütlema, et mitte praegu.
And sometimes they're not very happy about that.
Ja mõnikord see neile eriti ei meeldi.
But what we must learn to do is be skillful in quietness.
Aga mida sa pead õppima, on olla oskuslik ka vaikuses.
I find in these days that often when I pray, I say very few words anymore.
Ma olen nüüd leidnud viimasel ajal, et sageli kui ma palvetan, siis ma ütlen vähe sõnu.
Much of my time is just spent waiting before the Lord.
Suur osa minu ajast kulub sellele, et oodata issanda ees.
I figure what he has to say is much more important than what I have to say.
Ma olen mõistnud, et see, mida temal on öelda, on palju olulisem kui see, mis minul on öelda.
But if I do not give him an opportunity to say it, he will not say it.
Aga kui ma ei anna talle võimalust seda öelda, siis ta ei ütle seda.
He'll just listen to me ramble on.
Ta lihtsalt kuuleb mind seal oma juttu rääkimas.
And then when I finally get up and say in Jesus' name, amen.
Ja kui ma siis lõpuks püsti tõusen ja ütlen Jeesuse nimel, aamen,
he still hasn't even spoken.
Siis ta ei ole ikka veel rääkinudki.
And so I want to encourage you to learn the art of being skillful in quietness.
Nii et ma tahan sind julgustada õppima seda kunsti, et me oleksime osavad vaikuses.
Because that is a very important part of your relationship with the Lord.
Sest see on väga oluline osa sinu suhtest isandaga.
Now the second grace pool that we spoke from was Ephraim.
Nüüd teine selline armu allikas oli Ephraim.
And what we said that the name Ephraim means is doubly fruitful.
Ja mida see nimi Ephraim tähendas, oli kahekordselt viljakas.
Now if you follow the trend of my thoughts,
kui sa järgid minu mõtete nagu sellist trendi,
you needed someone in leadership at first to keep the family connected to the Lord.
Siis sa vajad kedagi alguses juhiks, kes elaks elu ühendatud issandaga.
And Moses was a wonderful example of that.
ja Mooses oli imeline näide sellest.
In fact, his relationship was so deep with the Lord
ja tegelikult tema suhe issandaga oli nii sügav,
that there was a certain time when God spoke to Moses, said, get out of the way so I can kill them all.
kus issand tegelikult ütles kord Moosesele, et tule teelt eest, et ma saaks nad kõik tappa.
Do you remember that?
kas sa mäletad seda kohta?
And Moses could say to the Lord, no, you can't do that.
ja Mooses võis öelda issandale, et ei, sa ei või seda teha.
Now, can you imagine talking to the Lord that way?
kas sa kujutad ette, et sa räägid niimoodi issandaga?
It's only a friend you can talk to that way.
ainult sõber võib niimoodi rääkida.
As a pastor, there were times, I believe, if the Lord had said that to me, I probably would have gotten out of the way.
ma usun, et pastorina, kui issand oleks minuga nii rääkinud, ma oleks ilmselt tee pealt eest tulnud.
Now, you have to forgive me for that.
Te peate mulle selle eest andeks andma.
But sometimes you can be frustrated as a leader.
aga mõnikord sa võid olla üsna frustreeritud juhina.
And if you are allowing your emotions to drive you,
ja kui sa lased ennast oma emotsioonidel juhtida,
you can make some improper decisions.
siis sa võid teha mõningaid ebaõigeid otsuseid.
Now, you know, I shared that thought with you, but what God actually wanted Moses to do was to stay between him and them.
ja ma olen juba jaganud seda mõtet teiega, aga mida Jumal tahtis, et Mooses teeks, oli, et ta seisaks tema ja inimeste vahel.
See, sometimes things happen so that we really can understand our hearts.
mõnikord asjad juhtuvad selleks, et me võiksime mõista oma südant.
Because I find that no person really knows their heart until certain conditions are there.
sellepärast, et ükski inimene ei suuda mõista oma südant seni, kuni teatud olukorrad toimuvad.
And what we see about Moses in that moment is that he was an intercessor.
ja mida me Moosese kohta näeme, oli see, et ta oli eest palvetaja.
And he was willing to stand before God for the people.
ja ta oli nõus seisma issanda ees inimeste eest.
Can you see how valuable that leader is?
kas sa näed, kui väärtuslik selline juht on?
One who would say to God, no, you cannot kill them.
üks, kes ütleks, et ei, sa ei või neid tappa.
Because what the enemy will say is that you could bring them out, but you could not bring them in.
mida vaenlane ütleks, et sa võid need välja tuua, aga sa ei või neid sisse tuua.
Now, if Moses had any agenda at all, private agenda at all,
kui Moosesel oleks sellised oma mingisugused plaanid.
Because what God said is that if you will allow me to kill them, I'll raise up a nation out of you mightier than they are.
sellepärast, et Jumal oli talle öelnud, et kui sa lubad mul neid tappa, siis ma tõstan sinust esile uue rahva, kes on väelisemad kui nemad.
Now, if you have a private agenda, you probably would step out of the way.
kui sinul on mingisugune oma plaan või mingisugune oma tahe, siis sa astuksidki teest.
But if you have tied into a purpose and a cause that's greater than yourself, you intercede.
aga kui sa oled seotud ühe eesmärgiga, mis on suurem kui sina ise, siis sa teed eestpalvet.
You see, this is really, these things define a real leader.
ja need on asjad, mis defineerivad ühte tõelist juhti.
And it also speaks to the fact of the depth of Moses' relationship with God.
ja see tegelikult räägib ka sellest, kui sügav oli Moosese suhe Jumalaga.
Do you think the children of Israel even understood that God was ready to kill them?
mis sa arvad, kas Iisraeli lapsed üldse mõistsid, et Jumal oli valmis neid tapma?
They probably had no idea it was about to take place.
ilmselt neil polnud aimugi, et midagi sellist pidi toimuma.
And here's one more time that Moses stood for them
ja siin oli veel üks kord, kus Mooses seisis nende eest.
rather than standing for himself.
selle asemel, et iseenda eest seista.
Now the Bible tells us that Jesus right now has a more excellent ministry.
piibel ütleb meile, et Jeesusel on veel suurem teenistus.
You will find this in Hebrews chapter 8.
sa leiad selle Hebrea 8. peatükis.
And I began to think about that. I said, if something is excellent, what could be more excellent?
ja ma mõtlesin, et kui miski on suurepärane, et mis siis võib olla veel suurepärasem.
Because it was a wonderful thing that Jesus died for us.
sest see oli imeline asi, et Jeesus suri meie eest.
And then of course he rose again from the dead.
ja siis muidugi ta tõusis surnuist.
And he ascended as well.
ja ta tõusis üles.
Now the Bible equally tells us in Ephesians that we are seated together with him in heavenly places.
ja Efesuse kirjas öeldakse, et me oleme istumas koos temaga taevases paigus.
So here's the truth of the matter.
Nii et tõde on selles.
When he ascended, we ascended as well.
Nii et kui teda tõstendati üles või teda ülendati, siis ka meid ülendati.
And when he took his seat, we took our seat as well with him.
Ja kui tema võttis oma istekoha, siis meie istusime koos temaga.
That's why we're seated together in heavenly places. Not someday, right now.
Sellepärast me oleme istumas taevasis paigus, mitte kunagi tulevikus, vaid praegu.
See, your life is moving forth out of the heavens.
Ja sinu elu liigub edasi lähtuvalt taevast või taevast välja.
Now, why is this important, brethren?
Ja miks see on oluline, vennad?
Because when you consider this thought, here's Jesus, and he has a more excellent ministry right now.
Kui sa mõtled sellele, et Jeesus on seal ja tal on veel suurepärasem teenistus praegu.
Once again, you could go back and look at the many good things that he did while he was here on earth.
Jällegi sa võid minna tagasi ja vaadata kõiki neid häid asju, mis ta tegi, kui ta siin maa peal oli.
How that he healed the sick, he raised the dead, he cleansed the leper. He ministered deliverance to those who were possessed.
Parandas haigeid ja äratas surnuis üles, tegi pidalitõbiseid puhtaks ja nii edasi.
He taught the multitudes.
Ta õpetas rahva hulki.
And he developed his disciples.
Ja ta arendas oma jüngreid.
Those are good things.
Need kõik on head asjad.
He was unafraid to confront the religious spirit.
Ta ei kartnud konfronteerida religioosset vaimu.
That's a good thing.
See on hea asi.
Those who were sitting in the region and the shadow of death, light came to them. That's a good thing.
Need, kes olid surmamaal, neile paistis valgus ja see on hea asi.
But when a man will die for another man,
aga kui mees sureb teise inimese eest,
that's a great thing.
See on suurepärane asi, see on suur asi.
Are you hearing me tonight?
Kuuled sa mind täna?
And yet, right now, he's doing something that's more excellent than all of those things I've just listed.
Ja ometi öeldakse, et see, mida ta praegu teeb, see on suurem või suurepärasem kui see, mida ma nimetasin, kõik need asjad.
As a high priest in the heavens, he is for us.
Ülempreestrina taevas ta on meie jaoks või meie poolt.
And he makes intercession for us according to the will of God.
Ja ta teeb eest palvet meie eest Jumala tahte kohaselt.
And the gist of Hebrews chapter 8 is that thought.
Ja Hebra 8. peatükis on just see mõte.
That we have a man in the heavens.
Et meil on üks mees
and he is for us.
Taevastes, kes on meie poolt.
And he makes intercession for us.
Ja ta teeb eest palvet meie eest.
One of the greatest responsibilities of a leader over people.
Üks suurimaid vastutusi juhile inimeste eest.
Is that you must carry those people in your heart at all times.
On see, et sa pead kandma neid inimesi oma südames kogu aeg.
A wonderful picture of this concerning the high priest in Israel was this thought.
Imeline mõte ülempreestri kohta Iisraelis on just see mõte.
He had a breastplate, and on that breastplate you had stones with the names of the sons of Israel.
Tal oli selline rinnaplaat ja sellel rinnaplaadil olid kivid, millel olid peal Iisraeli laste nimed.
So in his intercession he bore their names upon his heart.
Nii et oma eest palves ta kandis nende nimesid oma südames.
And what God considers that is something that is more excellent.
Ja Jumal peab seda millekski suuremaks.
You know, as much as I preach and I teach, there is something more excellent than that.
Nii palju, kui ma ka õpetan ja jutlustan, on midagi suuremat kui see.
And it's when you constantly carry the people of God before the throne of God.
On see, kui sa pead või viid pidevalt Jumala rahva tema trooni ette.
Because you desire to see them fulfill their purpose.
Sellepärast, et sa igatsed näha neid täitmas oma eesmärki.
And not become a casualty as we journey along.
Ja mitte saamas ohvriteks teel.
Are you understanding me tonight?
Kas sa mõistad mind?
You see, in the concept of Moses, we see this principle highlighted is relationship.
Nii et Mooseses me näeme nagu esile tõstetuna just suhet.
When it comes to Joshua, the second leader.
Kui asi puudutab teist juhti Joosuat,
it is extremely difficult to be a second generation leader, especially when you're following a very successful first generation leader.
Väga raske on olla teise põlvkonna juht, eriti kui sa järgned väga edukale esimese põlvkonna juhile.
Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because people will always compare you to the first generation leader.
Põhjus, miks ma seda sulle räägin, on selle tõttu, et inimesed alati võrdlevad sind esimese põlvkonna juhiga.
Do you remember what Israel said to Moses?
Kas sa mäletad, mida Iisrael ütles
Now,
Moosesele?
of course, they came to believe that Moses really was a man of God and the sent of God.
Ja muidugi nad hakkasid uskuma, et Jumal on Moosese valinud ja tema läkitanud.
But at first they didn't believe that.
Aga alguses nad seda ei uskunud.
You see, he had to have some evidence that God had sent him.
Neil pidi olema tõendeid sellest, et Jumal tema läkitanud on.
Now, after 40 years, the ministry of Moses is finished.
Ja nüüd peale 40 aastat on Moosese teenistus läbi.
Now Joshua comes forth.
Ja Joosua tuleb esile.
And God said to Moses, you are to take of the spirit that's on you and place it on Joshua.
Ja Jumal ütles talle, et nüüd sa pead võtma selle vaimu, mis on sinu peal ja asetama selle Joosuale.
You're to do this before all the people, the congregation of Israel.
Sa pead seda tegema kogu rahva ees, Iisraeli koguduse ees.
And what the people said to Joshua was this.
Ja mida inimesed ütlesid Joosuale oli see.
We will follow you.
Meie järgneme sulle.
As long as we know that God is with you the way that he was with Moses.
Nii kaua, kui me teame kindlasti, et Jumal on sinuga nii, nagu ta oli Moosesega.
Now, was that really fair?
Kas see oli nüüd õiglane?
Come on, put yourself in the position.
Pane nüüd ennast sellele positsioonile.
That you must follow a great leader.
Et sa pead järgnema ühele suurele juhile.
And someone would say to you, we will follow you as long as we know that God is with you the way he was with the former man of God.
Ja inimesed ütlevad sulle, et me järgneme sulle juhul, kui me näeme, et Jumala vaim on sinu peal nii, nagu tema peal.
Can you see how Joshua is starting?
Kas sa näed, kuidas Joosua on alustanud?
And why it is good that he had spent much time with Moses?
Ja miks on hea, et ta oli veetnud palju aega Moosesega?
And he had learned the art of relationship with God?
Ja ta oli õppinud seda suhet Jumalaga kunsti.
Because what the people were basically saying is that we want to see what your performance is going to be.
Sest inimesed põhimõtteliselt ütlesid talle, et me tahame näha, millist etendust sina annad, milliseid tegusid sina teed.
And then at that point we will decide whether we will follow you or not.
Ja siis me otsustame, kas me järgneme sulle või mitte.
Now we understand that you cannot compare a leader from one generation to a leader in a different generation.
Ja siis me mõistame, et me ei saa tegelikult võrrelda ühest põlvkonna juhti teise põlvkonna juhiga.
How many of you understand that is really unfair?
Kui paljud teist mõistavad, et see on väga ebaõiglane?
Because the assignment is different.
Sellepärast, et ülesanne on teistsugune.
See, the person who has the assignment to get you out
Sest see inimene, kelle ülesanne on sind välja viia
of bondage and slavery,
sealt orjandusest,
there's a certain grace that goes with that.
siis sellega käib kaasas üks teatud arm.
But the person that has the responsibility to get you into your promise,
Aga see inimene, kelle arm on viia sind sinu tõotusesse,
there's a different grace that goes with that.
selle jaoks on teine arm, kelle
And
ülesanne.
so people would say, we want you to do, Joshua, exactly what Moses did.
Ja inimesed ütlevad, et me tahame, et sa Joosua teeksid täpselt nii, nagu Mooses.
How many of you understand that's unfair?
Kui paljud teist mõistavad, et see on ebaõiglane?
Because his assignment was not Moses' assignment.
Sest tema ülesanne ei olnud Moosese ülesanne.
His assignment was to make sure that every one of them inherited.
Tema ülesanne oli teha kindlaks, et igaüks neist päriks oma osa.
And so what people had to do, the nation had to do, was make a shift in their thinking.
Nii et mida see rahvas pidi tegema, oli see, et nende mõtlemises pidi toimuma üks nihe.
Because the way that leadership now would be presented would be different.
Sest see, kuidas nüüd juhtimine tuli esile, pidi olema erinev.
So if you read Joshua chapter 1 as we did today,
Nii et kui sa loed Joosua esimesest peatükki, nagu me täna tegime,
you'll find that there's a different leadership team that's around Joshua.
siis sa näed, et Joosua ümber on üks teine juhtimismeeskond.
It was Joshua and the elders of Israel.
See oli Joosua ja Iisraeli vanemad.
God would speak to Joshua.
Jumal räägib Joosuaga.
Joshua would speak to the elders.
Joosua räägib vanematega.
And the elders would speak to the nation.
ja vanemad räägivad rahvaga.
That was not the case with Moses.
Moosesega nii ei olnud.
God would speak to Moses,
Jumal rääkis Moosesega
and Moses somehow had to persuade the nation.
ja Mooses pidi kuidagi siis rahvast veenma.
And finally, it wore him out.
Ja lõpuks see lihtsalt kurnas ta ära.
And he said, God, I cannot bear these people alone.
Ja ta ütles, et Jumal, ma ei suuda kanda kõiki neid inimesi üksi.
It was his cry for help.
See oli tema hüüe abi järgi.
So God said, I'll take of your spirit.
Ja Jumal ütles, et ma võtan sinu vaimust.
And he placed it upon the 70 elders of Israel.
Ja ta pani selle 70 vanema peale
And
Iisraelis.
now he had some help in leadership.
Ja nüüd tal oli abi juhtimises.
But Joshua starts from the vantage point of already having these elders in Israel.
Aga Joosua alustas sellest eelistatud kohast, et tal juba olid need 70 vanemat.
What I find is that it is very difficult to lead alone.
Ja ma olen leidnud, et väga raske on juhtida üksi.
And the more help you have, the better you are.
Mida rohkem abi sul on, seda parem.
The more that you can delegate, the better you are. Because doing the job alone is not good.
Sest üksinda töö tegemine ei ole hea.
When I started to walk in God,
Kui ma hakkasin kõndima Issandas Jumalas,
the idea was the great man of God
siis idee oli suur Jumala mees,
who did everything.
kes tegi kõike.
Most of those men did not live very long.
Aga enamus neist meestest ei elanud väga kaua.
That's the thing that I saw.
Ja see on see, mida ma nägin.
And only those who were able to make the shift from being the man of God to sharing the responsibility of leadership lived a long time.
Ja ainult need, kes suutsid teha selle muutuse, olles ainukesest Jumala mehest jagades seda vastutust, võisid nemad elasid kauem.
Now, I'm not talking about men who really were careless and really did not pursue properly their relationship with God.
Ja ma ei räägi siin meestest, kes olid hoolimatud ja ei nõudnud taga seda suhet Jumalaga.
They did that and they loved people.
Ja nad tegid seda ja nad armastasid inimesi.
But I submit to you that some of their decision making was not wise.
Aga mõned nende otsused ei olnud targad.
Because if you pray for thousands of people every weekend,
Sest kui sa palvetad tuhandete inimeste eest igal nädalavahetusel
and you're the only one praying,
ja sina oled ainus, kes palvetab,
you are going to wear out quickly.
siis sa kurnad ennast väga kiiresti ära.
I saw this many times.
Ma nägin seda palju kordi.
And I said, God, there must be a better way than this.
Ja ma ütlesin, Jumal, peab olema parem viis.
There must be a way by which a man of God can minister in one season, make a shift, and go to the next season.
Peab olema viis, kuidas Jumala mees saab teenida ühel ajajärgul, siis muutuda ja siis teenida teisel ajajärgul.
And not become a casualty in their leadership style every time.
Ja mitte jääma oma juhtimisstiili ohvriks iga kord.
Consider it.
Mõtle sellele.
Which one would you rather be, Moses or Joshua?
Milline sa oleksid pigem, kas Joosua või Mooses?
Would you want to have 3 million people on your shoulders by yourself?
Kas sa tahaksid, et 3 miljoni inimest istuks ainuüksi sinu õlgadel?
I don't think anybody's name is Atlas in here.
Ma arvan, et kellegi nimi siin ei ole Atlas.
You remember the story of Atlas.
Mäletate seda lugu Atlasest?
He bore the world on his shoulders
Ta kandis
by himself.
üksinda maailma oma õlgadel.
No, really, the pattern of Joshua is much better.
Joosua muster on palju parem.
Now, what did God say to Joshua in preparation?
Ja mida Jumal ütles Joosuale selles ettevalmistuses?
Here's the first thing he said.
Esimene asi, mis ta ütles.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Mooses, mu sulane on surnud.
That's the first thing he said.
See oli esimene asi, mis ta ütles.
He did not criticize Moses.
Ta ei kritiseerinud Moosest.
Not any of that. You heard no bad words come from God about Moses.
Sa ei kuulnud ühtki halba sõnast tulemas Moosese kohta.
He did not say, Moses, the one who struck the rock twice when I told him not to, is dead.
Ta ei öelnud, et see Mooses, kes lõi kaljud 2 korda, kui ma käskisin tal ainult öelda sõna, on nüüd surnud.
No, all he said was, Moses, my servant, is dead.
Ta ütles, ei, Mooses, minu sulane on surnud.
Now, what God was doing was eulogizing or speaking well of Moses.
Ta rääkis hästi Moosesest.
He said, now Joshua, what you must do,
ja ta ütles, Joosua, mida sina nüüd pead tegema?
you must arise
Sa pead tõusma
along with this nation,
koos selle rahvaga
and you must cross this Jordan
ja sa pead ületama Jordani
and enter into the land.
ja sisenema sinna maale.
So what that tells us is everything they had done to that point
Nii et see ütleb meile, et kõik see, mida nad olid sinnamaani teinud,
had just now concluded in the death of this great leader.
oli nüüd jõudnud lõpule selle suure juhi surmas.
They could not carry anything that they were doing in the wilderness with them in the next phase of their development.
Nad ei saanud kanda mitte midagi sellest, mida nad tegid kõrbes, kaasa sellesse oma arengu järgmisesse faasi.
You see, they needed to leave those things behind them
Nad pidid jätma need asjad enda taha,
and
maha
press toward the mark.
ja suruma siis selle sihtmärgi poole.
You see, so often we like to take some of the things that we were doing in the past with us in the new phase that God brings us into.
Nii sageli me tahame neid asju võtta endaga kaasa, mida me tegime varem, uude faasi, mida Jumal praegu teeb.
Now, what I'm talking about here is methods.
Millest ma praegu räägin, on meetoditest.
I'm not talking about principle here.
Ma ei räägi siin printsiibist.
Because you will carry the principle of God with you from one phase to another.
Sest Jumala printsiibi kannad sa endaga ühest faasist teise.
See things like the blood of the Lamb.
Nagu talle veri.
Knowing that our life hangs upon the foundation of the blood. You will take that with you.
Teades, et meie elu sõltub sellest talle verest. Sa
I'm
võtad selle kaasa.
I'm talking about things like the baptism of the Holy Spirit.
Ma räägin püha vaimuga ristimisest.
With the evidence of the Spirit-filled life.
Mida tõendab vaimuga täidetud elu.
You will take that with you.
Selle sa võtad endaga kaasa.
You see, you can't ever leave your foundations.
Sa ei saa kunagi oma aluseid maha jätta.
But some of the methods that we pick up.
Aga mõned need meetodid, mida me kaasa korjame.
Some of those things we must leave behind.
Mõned need asjad me peame maha jätma.
Now, you know what is something else that is amazing?
Tead, mis on veel hämmastav?
They should have left that serpent of brass behind.
Nad oleks pidanud jätma maha ka selle vaskmao.
But they carried the serpent of brass with them across the Jordan.
Aga nad kandsid selle vaskmao endaga kaasa üle Jordani.
And it took 800 years for somebody to wake up and say, get rid of this thing.
Ja 800 aastat võttis, kuni keegi ärkas ja ütles, et koristage see ära.
Now, do you think God didn't want them to get rid of that thing before 800 years?
Mis sa arvad, kas Jumal ei tahtnud siis, et nad sellest juba varem lahti ei saaks?
I can see this right now. I mean, I can visualize this.
Ma võin seda hästi ette kujutada.
Here they are. They're journeying. They're getting ready to cross the Jordan.
Siin nad on, rändavad ja varsti ületamas Jordanit.
All the soldiers except for Caleb and Joshua are dead now.
Kõik sõdurid välja arvatud Joosep ja Kaalep, Joosua ja Kaalep on surnud sellest esimesest põlvkonnast.
And many of the people of the first generation, they're dead as well.
Ja paljud teised inimesed esimesest põlvkonnast on ka surnud.
But can't you see them following the cloud?
Näed, kuidas nad järgnevad pilvele?
The cloud is moving.
Pilv liigub.
Let's move with the cloud.
Liigume koos pilvega.
But don't forget the snake.
Ärge madu unustage.
Make sure you bring that snake.
Tehke kindlaks, et te ikka selle mao ka kaasa võtate.
And so many of the people did not make it across the Jordan.
Nii et paljud inimesed ei jõudnud üle Jordani.
But the snake did.
Aga madu jõudis.
Now I know I'm being a bit facetious here.
Tean, et ma siin veidi...
But here's my point. God desires that the church, not just a few of us, the church move forward.
Aga mõte on selles, et Jumal tahab, et mitte ainult mõned üksikud, vaid kogudus liiguks edasi.
And I promise you that a whole lot of people do not want to move forward without taking the theology of the devil with them.
Aga ma tean, et on palju inimesi, kes ei taha edasi liikuda ilma teoloogiata kuradist.
I know I got to walk careful here right now.
Ma tean, ma pean nüüd hästi hoolikalt kõndima siin.
Because if we leave the snake behind,
sest kui me jätame mao maha,
we can't say that he's the reason anymore for anything that we do.
Siis me ei saa enam öelda, et ta on mingi asja põhjuseks, mida me teeme.
You can't ever say again, the devil made me do it.
Sa ei saa enam kunagi öelda, et kurat pani mind seda tegema.
That is if you leave the snake behind.
See on siis, kui sa jätad ussi maha või mao maha.
So when a leader rises up like Ezekiah,
nii et kui juht tõuseb nagu Hiskija,
and he crushes that serpent of brass,
ja seda purustab selle vaskmao.
What do you think God was saying?
Mis sa arvad, mida Jumal siis ütles?
Get rid of the snake out of your theology.
Saage lahti sellest maost oma teoloogias.
Now that's radical.
See on radikaalne.
I mean that's radical today.
See on radikaalne täna.
Because people would say, you don't believe in the devil?
Sest inimesed ütlevad, et sa ei usu kuradisse.
And you know what I tell them?
Ja mis ma ütlen?
No.
Ei.
They said, what do you mean you don't believe in the devil?
Mis sa selle all mõtled, et sa ei usu kuradisse?
I said, because this is what you're really saying. Whatever you believe in or into, you are moving into that.
Ja ma ütlen selle kohta seda, et mida tahes sa usud või millesse sa usud, sellesse sa ka liigud.
I said, this is what I believe.
Ja mida ma usun?
I believe about the devil.
Ma usun tema kohta.
I don't believe in the devil.
Ma temasse ei usu.
This is what I believe about the devil.
Ja see on see, mida ma usun kuradi kohta.
That he's totally defeated.
Et ta on täiesti võidetud.
He has absolutely no power.
Tal ei ole mingit väge.
And we really shouldn't give any conversation to him.
Ja me ei peaks mingit vestlust temaga arendama.
Anytime he's moving his lips.
Iga kord, kui ta oma huuli liigutab, siis ta valetab.
So don't believe him.
Nii et ära usu teda.
That's what I believe about the devil.
Seda ma usun kuradi kohta.
Well, hallelujah. Joosua. What kept him grounded as he started to lead the nation of Israel?
Mis hoidis teda rajatuna, kui ta hakkas Iisraeli rahvast juhtima?
Remember what God said to him. Meditate in the word day and night.
Mäletad, mis Jumal ütles talle? Ta ütles, et mediteeri selle sõna üle päeval ja ööl.
He said, and therein you will have good success.
Ja siis sul on hea edu.
In fact, he said, you will prosper and have good success.
Ja tegelikult ta ütles, et sa oled edukas või sa saad jõukaks ja sul on suur edu.
Now the Lord also spoke to him and said, listen.
Ja Issand ütles talle ka, et kuule.
I will never leave you and I will never forsake you.
Ma ei hülga sind ega jäta sind kunagi maha.
Isn't it interesting how that God will always say that to someone who's moving from one phase to another phase?
Kas pole huvitav, et Jumal ütleb seda alati kellelegi, kes on liikumas ühest faasist teise?
You know, when Jacob first left the promised land and he was going to Uncle Laban.
Kui Jaakob lahkus tõotatud maalt ja läks oma onu Laabani juurde.
In his dream, remember what the Lord said to him?
Mäletad, mida Jumal ütles ta unenäos?
That I'm never going to leave you and I'm not going to forsake you.
Et ma ei jäta sind ega hülga sind kunagi.
And I'm with you until I fulfill the word that I've spoken to you.
Ja ma olen sinuga, kuni ma olen täitnud selle sõna, mis ma sulle rääkinud olen.
And now we see him saying the same thing to Joshua.
Ja nüüd me näeme teda ütlemas sama asja Joosuale.
I'm not going to leave you and I'm not going to forsake you.
Ma ei jäta sind ega hülga sind.
But I'm with you until the word has been fulfilled in your life.
Aga ma olen sinuga, kuni sõna on täidetud.
And you can see this later with men like Solomon that the Lord said, I'm with you to fulfill the word that I've spoken to your life.
Ja siis hiljem ta ütleb seda Saalomonile, et ma olen sinuga, kuni see sõna on täidetud su elus.
What's the final thing that Jesus said to the apostles before he ascended?
Mida ütles Jeesus viimasena apostlitele, kui ta läks taevasse?
I'll never leave you and I'll never forsake you.
Ma ei jäta sind ega hülga sind kunagi.
He said, lo, I'm with you until the end of the age.
Vaata, ma olen teiega ajastu lõpuni.
In other words, I am with you as you fulfill your assignment.
Teisisõnu, ma olen teiega, kui te täidate oma ülesannet.
What do you think God is saying to us today?
Mis sa arvad, mida Jumal on täna meile ütlemas?
Come on, it doesn't change.
Ta ei muutu.
You see, because all of these were reformers.
Sest kõik nad olid reformaatorid.
And the assurance that you must have as a reformer
Ja reformaatorina see kindlus, mis sul peab olema,
is that the Lord will provide for you
on see, et Issand varustab
and
sind
the Lord will protect you.
ja Issand kaitseb sind.
Every reformer must have that assurance from God.
Igal reformaatoril peab olema see kindlus Jumalalt.
And God speaks that to reformers.
Ja Jumal räägib seda
You see, maybe we
reformaatoritele.
haven't looked at Joshua really as a reformer.
Me ei ole vaadanud Joosuat tegelikult
But he
reformaatorina,
was.
aga ta oli seda.
You see, they had been doing the same thing for 40 years.
Nad olid ju teinud sama asja 40 aastat.
Basically going around the same mountain for 40 years.
Põhimõtteliselt käinud 40 aastat ümber sama mäe.
They had developed a tradition for 40 years.
Nad olid arendanud ühe traditsiooni 40 aastat.
And now the word of the Lord to Joshua is, break the tradition.
Ja nüüd sõna Joosuale on see, et murra traditsioon.
Rise up and do something you've never done before.
Tõuse üles ja tee, mida sa kunagi varem pole teinud.
Go someplace you've never gone before.
Mine kusagile, kus sa pole varem läinud.
You're going to have to think differently this time.
Seekord sa pead hakkama teistmoodi mõtlema.
Because the methods of the past
Sest mineviku meetodid
will not produce the prosperity of your future.
ei tooda seda jõukust tulevikus.
That's the challenge of Joshua's leadership.
See on Joosua juhtimise väljakutse.
Have you heard many say this is a Joshua generation?
Oled sa kuulnud inimesi ütlemas, et see on Joosua põlvkond?
Why are they saying that?
Miks nad seda ütlevad?
Who do you often hear say that? Who do you often hear say that?
Keda sa kuuled sageli seda ütlemas?
Usually it's younger people who are tired of us older people.
Tavaliselt need on nooremad inimesed, kes meist vanematest on väsinud.
And they figure we have, spent our time and we have no more place in God.
Ja nad arvavad, et me oleme nüüd oma aja elanud ja et meil ei ole enam seda kohta Jumalas.
I was with a group of young people one time and they were really just announcing that this is a Joshua generation.
Ükskord olin grupi noortega ja nemad seal kuulutasid, et see on Joosua põlvkond.
And they were really excited about it being a Joshua generation.
Nad olid väga põnevil sellest, et nad on Joosua põlvkond.
And I said, yes, it really is.
Ja ma ütlesin, jah, see tõesti on.
I said, tell me something.
Aga ma küsisin, öelge mulle midagi.
I said, how old are most of you?
Kui paljud teist enamus on?
And they ranged,
kui vanad te enamus olete?
and they ranged somewhere from the age of about 20 up to about 40.
Nad olid umbes 20 kuni 40 aastased.
And they're just shouting, this is a Joshua
Ja
generation.
nad hõiskasid seal, et see on Joosua põlvkond.
And I said, do you know what's interesting?
Ja ma ütlesin, teate, mis on huvitav?
Joshua was 80 years old when he started to lead.
Joosua oli 80-aastane, kui ta hakkas juhtima.
I said, I think I'm more of a Joshua generation than you are.
Ma arvan, et mina olen rohkem Joosua põlvkond kui teie.
Because I'm a whole lot closer to 80 than any of you.
Sest mina olen palju lähemal 80-le kui teie, keegi teist.
Isn't it amazing that God chose seasoned men to lead this next phase as well?
Kas polnud huvitav, et isand valis nagu sellised küpsed inimesed, eakad, et ka sel korral juhtida?
You know what I love about young people?
Tead, mis mulle meeldib noorte puhul?
I love their energy.
Mulle meeldib nende energia.
Because one of the ideas to convey the Holy Spirit working is the word energy.
Sellepärast, et üks viis, kuidas kirjeldada püha vaimu liikumist on energia.
You know what I love about more chronologically challenged people?
Aga tead, eakad inimesed, mis mulle nende puhul meeldib?
You know what I love about us?
Mis mulle meeldib meie puhul?
Is that there is a wisdom that comes through living life.
Et elu elades sellele kaasneb tarkus.
And you cannot just learn that in a few days.
Ja sa ei saa seda ainult mõne päevaga ära õppida.
Your decision making is going to be much better.
Sinu otsuse tegemine saab olema palju parem.
You're going to be much more careful in your decision making.
Sa saad olema palju hoolikam ja ettevaatlikum oma otsuse tegemises.
And sometimes as a younger person you get a little bit more time to recover.
Ja noore inimesena sul on veidi rohkem aega, et taastuda.
Especially if you've made an unwise decision.
Eriti kui sa oled teinud mittetarga otsuse.
But this is what you realize as an older person.
Aga vanema inimesena sa mõistad.
You got far less time to recover.
Et sul on palju vähem aega taastumiseks.
And I don't want to go really to the extreme that you might not recover.
Ja ma ei taha minna äärmusesse, et sa ei pruugigi taastuda.
But that's why we need the young and the old together dancing in the streets of Jerusalem.
Sellepärast meil ongi noori ja vanu vaja koos tantsimas Jeruusalemma tänavatel.
Amen. Now this is what I say to my senior brothers and sisters.
Seda ma ütlen oma senior vendadele ja õdedele.
We may not dance as fast.
Me võib-olla ei tantsi nii kiiresti.
But we will dance.
Aga me tantsime.
May not dance as long.
Võib-olla mitte nii pikalt ei tantsi.
But we will dance.
Aga me tantsime küll.
Because together.
Sest koos.
God expects the young and old to work together.
Jumal ootab, et noored ja vanemad töötaks koos.
Let me go one other place with this.
Las ma lähen veel sellega kuskile.
Remember when they relayed the foundation of the temple in the restoration days of Ezra and Nehemiah?
Mäletad, kui templile rajati uuesti alus Ezra ja Nehemia aegsel taastamise ajal?
Do you remember what the young people did that day?
Mäletad, mida noored inimesed tegid sel päeval?
There was a shout of excitement that came from them when they saw the foundation.
Nad hõiskasid põnevusest, kui nad nägid seda alust või vundamenti.
Do you remember what happened with the older people?
Aga mäletad, mis juhtus vanematega?
They began to weep because they remembered the past.
Nad hakkasid nutma, sest nad mäletasid seda minevikku.
Now, every one of us who had a wonderful past in God,
Igaüks meist, kellel on olnud imeline minevik Jumalas.
we cannot spend so much time thinking about that
Me ei saa veeta nii palju aega sellele mõeldes
and not connect with what God is doing right now and in the days to come.
ja mitte ühenduda sellega, mida Jumal on praegu tegemas ja tulevastel päevadel.
You see, I can think about the past and rejoice,
Ma võin mõelda minevikule ja hõisata,
but I can look at the present and rejoice
aga ma võin vaadata ka olevikku ja rõõmustada.
because I know that it's a seed of what God will do in days to come.
Sellepärast, et ma tean, et see on seeme sellest, mida Jumal on tulevastel päevadel tegemas.
So I'm rejoicing.
Nii et ma rõõmustan.
I'm not looking at these days and saying, oh, these are horrible times. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Ma ei vaata neid päevi ega ütle, et need on kohutavad päevad. Ma ei ütle nii.
No.
Ei.
I see the seed that's in these days.
Ma näen seda seemet, mis on nendes päevades.
See, what about Joshua?
Kuidas on Joosuaga?
What did he already know
Mida ta juba teadis,
as he took on leadership?
kui ta võttis juhtimise?
He knew that he had to help every tribe inherit.
Ta teadis, et ta peab aitama igal suguharul pärida.
He was clear about his assignment.
Tema ülesanne oli talle täiesti selge.
But this is also what he knew.
Aga ta teadis ka seda,
That God did not drive the giants out of the land.
et Jumal ei olnud neid hiiglasi maalt välja ajanud.
He understood that.
Ta mõistis seda.
And he understood that if the giants were going to go any place, they had to drive them out.
Ja ta mõistis seda, et kui need hiiglased kusagile lähevad, siis nemad pidid nad sealt välja ajama.
I mean, can't you see them coming up to the door of one of the giants' houses, knocking on it and say, get out, we've come to take over?
Kas sa kujutad ette neid minemas mingi hiiglase maja uksele koputamas ja ütlemas, et kao välja, meie tuleme?
I'm sure the giants would not be very persuaded.
Ma arvan, et need hiiglased ei oleks eriti veendunud.
So you must persuade them.
Nii et sa pidid neid veenma.
Now today,
Täna.
the Bible 7 times tells us that God will take the wealth of the wicked and turn it over to the just.
7 times. Piibel ütleb 7 korda, et Jumal võtab kurjade vara ja annab selle õigetele.
Can you not see going to a billionaire and saying, I've come to take your money?
Kas sa kujutad ennast ette miljonäri juurde minemas ja ütlemas, et ma tulin su raha võtma?
Do you think they would be very excited about that?
On nad väga põnevil sellest?
I don't think so.
Mina nii ei arva.
So what God must do is give us a strategy
Nii et mida Jumal peab tegema, on andma strateegia,
by which these things will happen.
mille kaudu need asjad juhtuvad.
God had to give Joshua and the children of Israel strategy
Jumal pidi Joosuale ja Iisraeli lastele andma strateegia,
of how to take the land.
kuidas seda maad võtta.
And it begins with the first city,
Ja see algas esimese linnaga,
Jericho.
Jeeriko.
Now write this thought down.
Kirjuta see üles, see mõte.
You must begin with unusual strategy
Sa pead alustama ebatavalise strateegiaga.
when you begin to possess your promise.
Kui sa hakkad oma tootust omaks võtma või omandama.
Who had ever heard of an army marching around the walls of a city once a day for 6 days, and then on the 7th day you do it 7 times? Who had ever heard of that?
Kes oli iial kuulnud sellest, et üks armee marsib 6 päeva linna ümber 1 korra ja 7. päeval 7 korda?
You see, I'm talking unusual strategy.
Ma räägin ebatavalisest strateegiast.
And then add to that, you can't talk.
Ja pärast seda sa ei tohi rääkida.
You can't complain.
Sa ei tohi kurta.
You can't say, I don't understand why we're doing this. I don't want to do
Või
this.
nuriseda, et ma ei saa aru, miks me peame seda tegema.
It was the word of the Lord, unusual strategy.
See oli issanda sõna, ebatavaline strateegia.
But what was the result?
Aga mis oli tulemus?
They were able to take the city.
Nad said võtta selle linna.
And they did not really have to fight in that.
Ja nad tegelikult ei pidanud võitlemagi selle eest.
You see, some of the things that God has prepared to do,
Mõned asjad, mida Jumal on valmistanud tegema,
He will do the fighting for you.
tema võitleb sinu eest.
And you will not have to fight in it.
Ja sina ise ei pea selles võitlema.
All you'll have to do is just go in and possess.
Sina pead lihtsalt minema ja selle omama.
See, that's taking the wealth of the wicked
See on siis õelate vara võtmine
and turning it over to the just.
ja andma selle üle õigetele.
But here's another thing the Lord said to them.
Aga see on see, mida Isand ütles veel
You
neile.
cannot take personally anything that's in Jericho.
Sa isiklikult ei tohi võtta midagi seda, mis on
Because
Jeerikos,
at that point it would become a curse to you.
sest sellest hetkest see saab neetuks sulle.
Here's the reason behind this.
Ja põhjus selle taga on,
This is the first of the cities.
et see on esimene linnadest.
It's the principle of the firstborn,
See on esmasündinu
the
printsiip.
firstling of the flock.
Esimene karja hulgast.
Basically the
esmasündinu.
concept of the tithe
Ja põhimõtteliselt kümnise printsiip
is that it all belongs to the Lord.
on see, et see kõik kuulub Issandale.
And if you will devote it to the Lord,
Ja kui sa pühendad selle
it will be a
Issandale,
blessing to you
siis see on õnnistuseks
and will
sulle
never be a curse to you.
ja see ei ole kunagi needuseks
But if you
sulle.
take it personally,
Aga kui sa võtad selle
what
isiklikult,
really should be a blessing
siis see, mis peab saama
then becomes a
õnnistuseks,
curse.
sellest saab needus.
Now here's what God knows about the first things.
Ja mida Jumal teab esimeste asjade kohta,
Is that if we give God the first thing,
on see, et me anname Jumalale esimese asja.
it's like we have given God everything.
Siis see oleks, nagu me oleks Jumalale andnud kõik.
You see, when you gave him the firstling of your flock,
Kui sa andsid temale esimese osa oma karjast,
you gave him the whole flock.
siis sa andsid talle kogu karja.
When you give him the first things of your crops,
Kui sa annad talle esimesed asjad oma
you've given him the
viljasaagist,
whole field.
siis sa oled talle terve
You see,
põllu
that's the way
andnud.
it is in the kingdom.
Niimoodi see on kuningriigis.
And so whenever we give first things,
Nii et kui me anname esimesed asjad,
God said, you have given me everything.
siis Jumal ütleb, et sa oled mulle andnud kõik.
That's even why a firstborn child,
Ja see sama on ka esmasündinud lapsega.
the Lord said, they're even mine,
Issand ütleb, et ka nemad on minu omad,
but you can redeem them back.
aga sa võid need lunastada tagasi,
Because all first things
sest kõik esimesed
belong
asjad
to the Lord.
kuuluvad
So
Issandale.
everything in Jericho
Nii et kõik Jeerikos
belonged to the Lord.
kuulus Issandale.
And the moment that they gave everything in Jericho to the Lord,
Ja sel hetkel, kui nad andsid kõik Jeerikos Issandale,
God said, what you have just announced prophetically
ja siis Jumal ütles, mida te just olete prohvetlikult
is that you've
kuulutanud,
given me the whole land.
on see, et te olete mulle andnud kogu maa.
That's what they were saying.
Seda nad olid
Is that
ütlemas,
it all belonged to the Lord.
et see kõik kuulus Issandale.
And God said, I'm going to give it to you.
Ja Jumal ütles, et mina annan selle teile.
I trust you
Ma usaldan teid,
to be the caretakers of my land.
et te olete minu maa hoolekandjad.
Isn't that a beautiful principle?
Kas pole ilus printsiip?
You see, when I began to understand things like that,
Kui ma hakkasin asju niimoodi mõistma,
it developed a greater giving nature in me.
siis see arendas minus ühte suuremat andmisvaimu.
Now the time came,
Ja siis tuli aeg
and the Lord gave them more strategy,
ja Isand andis neile rohkem
because
strateegiat,
each fight was different.
sest iga võitlus oli erinev.
So you must be open to move with God.
Sa pead olema avatud Jumalaga
If you think you're
liikumisel.
going to use the same strategy every time,
Kui sa arvad, et sa kasutad sama strateegiat iga kord,
it may not work for the next assignment.
siis see ei pruugi töötada järgmise ülesande
Do you
jaoks.
remember the occasion of David and he said, how shall we go up?
Mäletad, kuidas Taavet ütles, et kuidas me peaks üles
Or
minema
even, shall we go up?
või kas me üldse peaksime
There were
minema?
times God said yes.
Oli kordi, kus Jumal ütles
There were
jah,
times God said no.
oli kordi, kus Jumal ütles ei.
You see, come on, you must have a strategy for each situation.
Nii et sul peab olema iga olukorra jaoks strateegia,
Because every situation is different.
sest iga olukord on erinev.
But the end result was this,
Aga lõpptulemus oli
is
see,
that they were able to capture the whole land.
et nad said võtta terve maa.
Did they make some mistakes along the way?
Kas nad tegid ka vigu tee peal?
Are you going to make some mistakes along the way?
Kas sina saad tegema vigu tee
More
peal?
than likely.
Üsna tõenäoline.
Remember the Gibeonites?
Mäletad midjanlasi,
When they presented themselves in a false manner,
kui nad esitasid ennast
and Israel came
valeviisi
into covenant with them,
ja Iisrael tegi nendega lepingu
rather than discerning them?
selle asemel, et neid tunda ära.
That was a mistake.
See oli viga,
But God was able to even use that situation as well.
aga Jumal sai isegi seda olukorda kasutada.
Will there ever be any tear among the wheat?
Kas nisu hulgas saab olla vahel umbrohtu või
Yes.
lustet? Jah.
Can you spend all night praying to choose a leadership team
Kas sa võid terve öö veeta selleks, et omale juhtmeeskond valida
and maybe end up with one who has the wrong agenda?
ja siis lõpetada sellega, et ühel neist on selline vale kavatsus?
Yes.
Jah.
Jesus prayed all night.
Jeesus palvetas kogu öö.
Then he chose 12 out of the many disciples.
ja siis ta valis 12 nende paljude jüngrite hulgast.
And one of them was a devil.
ja üks neist oli kurat.
Now, how do you figure that?
ja kuidas sa nüüd sellest aru saad?
Except that there is a purpose behind that choice.
välja arvatud, et selle valiku taga on üks eesmärk.
I used to pray and I said, God, give us a pure stream in this church.
ja mina tavatsesin palvetada, et Jumal, anna meile selles koguduses üks puhas voolus või puhas jõgi.
And the moment that I prayed that,
ja sel hetkel, kui ma seda palvetasin,
a devil showed up.
kurat ilmus kohale.
I wanted to go back and say, God, this is not what I prayed for.
tahtsin mina tagasi öelda, Jumal, ma seda küll ei palunud.
I find that the Lord will give us exactly what we need.
aga ma olen leidnud, et Jumal annab meile täpselt seda, mida me vajame.
And we may not think we need it.
ja meie võib-olla ei arva, et me seda vajame.
But God knows exactly what we need.
aga Jumal teab täpselt, mida me vajame.
Because what is at stake here?
sest mis on siin kaalul?
It's the development of his sons and daughters.
see on tema poegade ja tütarde arenemine.
And many times we learn through the principle of contrast.
ja sageli me õpime läbi kontrasti printsiibi.
Remember something Paul said?
mäletad, mida Paulus ütles?
He said, many went out from among us who were not of us.
ta ütles, et paljud meie hulgast läksid välja, kes ei olnud meist.
And what God was able to do in that
ja mida Jumal sellega sai teha?
was to show those who really were approved.
oli näidata neid, kes tõesti on nagu heaks kiidetud.
So don't get overly frustrated.
nii et ära väga satu masendusse.
If it seems that an enemy sows tear among the wheat.
kui näib, et Jumal külvab nagu seda lustet sinna nisu hulka.
Don't get overly excited to try to root it up before time.
ära püüa seda enneaegselt välja noppida.
Because there is an appointed time for the revelation of both the wheat and the tear.
sest tuleb õige aeg, mil nii nisu kui see luste saab avalikuks.
Remember the disciples, they asked Jesus, he said, an enemy has done this, and they said, well, can we pluck it up?
mäletad, jüngrid küsisid, et kas me tohime selle üles korjata?
Jesus said no.
Jeesus ütles ei.
I recall some of the discussions that my leadership team and we would have.
ma mäletan mõningaid vestlusi, mis meil meie juhtkonnas olid.
And we would really be discussing an issue of what we consider to be a problem among us.
ja me arutlesime teema üle, mida meie pidasime nagu probleemiks meie keskel.
Now all of our discussions were not about that at all times.
meie vestlust ei olnud kõik alati sellest.
Just sometimes.
ainult mõnikord.
And they would say, Pastor, what are we going to do?
Nad küsisid, et pastor, mida me nüüd teeme?
And normally you would have the more aggressive prophetic ones to say, we got to get rid of them.
ja sageli olid sellised agressiivsemad prohvetlikud inimesed, kes ütlesid, et neist tuleb lahti saada.
And we got to get rid of them now.
ja kohe tuleb neist lahti saada.
And I would have to say, slow down, brother.
ja ma pidin ütlema, et aeglasemat vend.
Have you asked the Lord the cause behind them being here?
oled sa küsinud Issandalt, et mis on see põhjus, miks nad siin on?
And most of the time they had not prayed.
ja loomulikult enamus kordadest nad ei olnud palvetanud.
I said, so let's slow down.
ja ütlesin, et võtame aega maha.
And let's understand why they're here.
ja mõistame, miks nad siin on.
And once we understand that,
ja kui me seda mõistame,
then we will know how to pray properly.
siis me teame, kuidas õigel viisil palvetada.
And if they need to go,
ja kui neil on tarvis minna,
believe me, we don't have a problem.
siis usu mind, meil ei saa probleemi olema
But if they
sellega.
need to stay,
aga kui nad peavad jääma,
we don't have a problem either.
siis ka meil ei ole probleemi. siis ka meil ei ole probleemi.
Can you handle that?
kas saate hakkama sellega?
Let me get even more personal with this.
las ma olen veelgi isiklikum sellega.
How many of you have had many what you would consider to be problems in your marriage?
kui paljudel teist on olnud asju, mida te nimetaksite probleemiks oma abielus?
Now I need you to be honest here.
mul on vaja, et te oleks ausad.
I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand or
ma ei palu
anything.
teil
You don't
kätt
have to do
tõsta.
that.
Te ei pea seda tegema.
You know the easiest thing in the world to do?
tead, mida...
The easiest thing in the world to do
mis on kõige lihtsam asi maailmas teha?
is get rid of your problem.
on oma probleemist lahti saada.
The greatest thing in the world to do
kõige suurem asi maailmas teha
is learn how to overcome your problem.
on õppida, kuidas võita või läbi tulla sellest.
Although your problem is going to continue to be a problem.
Kuigi see probleem jääb probleemiks.
You're a little bit quiet right now.
Praegu olete veidi vaiksed.
You see, we're talking about the kingdom.
Me räägime kuningriigist.
Can every last one of us give up because it's a problem?
Kas igaüks meist peaks alla andma, kuna tegu on probleemiga?
The answer is no.
Vastus on ei.
Now, I've been a very blessed man in my marriage.
Ma olen olnud väga õnnistatud mees oma abielus.
And I thank God that our intense fellowship has been very little.
Ja ma tänan Jumalat, et meil on väga vähe olnud intensiivset osadust.
But here's the deal.
Aga asi on selles.
There have been times of intense fellowship.
On olnud küll neid intensiivseid osadusi.
And you know what my human mind would say?
Ja tead, mida minu inimlik meel ütleks?
I don't think I need this.
Ma arvan, et mul ei ole seda tarvis.
But you know what the spiritual mind would say?
Ja tead, mida vaimulik meel ütleb?
You need every bit of this.
Sa vajad igat osa sellest.
Because what this is doing is cleansing something out of you.
Sellepärast, et mida see teeb, see puhastab midagi sinust välja.
You know, it would be like times that I would say to the Lord, but Anna's wrong, God.
Oli aegu, kus ma ütlesin Jumalale, et aga Ann eksib.
He said, what's that to you?
Siis ta ütleb, mis see sinule loeb?
You follow me.
Sina järgi mind.
And then it even got deeper.
Ja siis läks asi isegi sügavamale.
Have you ever felt like your mate owed you an apology?
Oled sa kunagi tundnud, et sinu kaaslane võlgneb sulle vabanduse?
How many of you are married?
Kui paljud teist on abielus?
Have you ever felt like your husband or wife owed you an apology?
Oled sa kunagi tundnud, et sinu mees või naine võlgneb sulle vabanduse?
Boy, you're really quiet right now.
Te olete hirmus
You're
vaiksed.
scaring me.
Hirmutate lausa mind.
There were times that I'd say, but Lord, she should apologize this time.
Ja ma olen öelnud, et issand, seekord peaks tema vabandama.
And you know what he would say to me?
Ja tead, mis tema mulle ütleb?
No, you apologize.
Ei, sina palu vabandust.
And I'm saying, this is too great for me.
Ja ma ütlen, et see on liiga suur minu jaoks.
And it would take me a little time to really obey.
Ja siis võtab veidi aega, kuni ma kuuletun.
Because I felt like she was wrong.
Sest ma tundsin, et tema eksib.
And so finally the Lord got through to me.
Ja siis lõpuks issand jõudis mulle kohale.
He said, do you want to be right or do you want to be reconciled?
Ja ta
Which one?
küsis, et kas sa tahad, et sul oleks õigus või tahad sa saada lepitatud? Kumb neist?
What do you think my answer was?
Mis te arvate, mis mu vastus oli?
Come on, when God asks you a question like that, you already know what the answer is.
Kui Jumal sult sellise küsimuse küsib, siis sa juba tead, mis vastus on.
It's like a lawyer. He never asks you a question he doesn't already know the answer to.
See on nagu advokaat, kui ta küsib sult küsimuse, siis see ei ole küsimus, millel ta juba vastust ei teaks.
I said, Lord, I want to be reconciled.
Ma ütlesin, issand, ma tahan saada lepitatud.
He said, be a man then and apologize to your wife for this confusion.
Ja siis ta ütles, et ole siis mees ja palu oma naiselt vabandust selle segaduse pärast.
And at that time, oh, God help us.
Ja sel ajal, Jumal aidaku.
I would come and I would say, honey, I want to apologize.
Ja siis ma tulen ja ütlen, et kallis, ma tahan vabandada.
And I want to use 3 words that men can hardly use.
Ja ma tahan kasutada neid 3 sõna, mida mehed vaevu suudavad kasutada.
I am sorry.
Mul on kahju.
Please forgive me.
Palun anna andeks.
I was wrong.
Ma eksisin.
Do you know what she did?
Ja tead, mis ta tegi?
Now, these were the early years.
Need olid need
I'm
varased
just telling you a
aastad.
little bit of my story.
Ma veidi räägin oma lugu.
These were the early years.
Need olid varased aastad.
She would tell me exactly what you're sorry about.
Ja see ütleb, et ütle mulle täpselt, mille pärast sa vabandust palud.
And I'm thinking, oh, God, how do I make it? You know, I had to go speak in tongue at that point.
Ma sel hetkel pidin veidi keeltes rääkima.
You know, when you're going through those things,
Ja kui sa lähed läbi sellistest asjadest,
you don't necessarily consider this is leadership development.
siis sa ei pea seda sageli juhtimise arenguks või juhi arenguks.
And what God is doing is expanding your capacity of grace.
Aga mida Jumal on tegemas, on tegelikult laiendamas sinu armu nagu mahutavust.
He's teaching you what it means to have wide margins of mercy.
Ta õpetab sulle, mida tähendab omada halastuse laia ala või
And one of the greatest lessons of all
ja üks kõige suuremaid õppetunde
is people don't always do what you want them to do.
on see, et inimesed ei tee alati seda, mida sa tahad, et nad teeks.
But you got to continue.
Aga sa pead ometi jätkama.
Being graceful,
olema armuline,
being kind,
olema lahke
and being merciful.
ja halastaja.
Those were lessons that I was learning in those early days of marriage.
Need olid need asjad, mida ma abielu alguses õppisin.
I didn't know that I would have to use those lessons so many times years later.
Ja ma ei teadnud, et ma pean neid õppetunde kasutama nii palju kordi aastaid hiljem.
With the people of God.
Jumala rahvaga.
But this is what it comes to, brethren.
Ja see on see, milleni asi jõuab.
If you're going to lead, you are going to be broken.
Kui sa saad juhtima, siis sa saad ka murtud.
And much of that brokenness begins in marriage.
Ja suur osa sellest murtusest algab abielus.
God assigns to you the exact person that you need.
Jumal määrab sulle täpselt selle õige inimese, keda sa vajad.
To help you arrive to the goal called brokenness.
Et aidata sind jõuda eesmärgini, mille nimi on murtus.
Because there's much at stake.
Sest palju on kaalul.
We're talking about the kingdom of God.
Ja me räägime Jumala
There's much
kuningriigist.
at stake.
Palju on kaalul.
You see, regardless of what you're going through right now, there's much at stake.
Ja vaatamata sellele, millest sa oled läbi minemas praegu, on palju kaalul.
We're talking about the advancement of the kingdom of God in your nation.
Me räägime Jumala kuningriigi laienemist teie rahva keskel.
You see, the cause is bigger than your circumstance.
See põhjus on suurem kui sinu olukord.
That's why you cannot allow the circumstances to drown you.
Sellepärast sa ei saa lasta olukordadel ennast uputada.
Because like David when he was about to face Goliath,
Nii nagu Taavet, kes oli minemas vastu Koljatile,
you had many who were called into the army,
siis seal oli palju, kes olid kutsutud armeesse,
but none of them sensed the cause that was at hand.
aga keegi ei tajunud seda hinda, mis oli.
So what David said, he did not say, is there not a call? But what he said is there not a cause here at stake?
Et ta ei küsinud, et kas siin on
What David said when he saw no one would go out and fight Goliath.
kuigi Taavet nägi, et ei ole kedagi, kes läheks Koljatiga võitlema.
And what I say is that many were called into the army.
Ja ma ütlen küll, et paljud olid kutsutud sinna armeesse.
But not a single one of those called ones saw the cause at stake.
Aga mitte ükski neist, kes oli kutsutud, ei näinud seda põhjust või seda, mis oli kaalul.
And what David said is there not a cause?
Ja siis Taavet ütles, et kas ei ole põhjust.
Here's the thing, brothers.
Aga asi on selles.
What is the cause that God has at this time in your nation pertaining to the kingdom of God?
Mis on see põhjus või juhtum, millega Jumal on tegelemas kuningriigi osas teie rahva keskel?
If you discern that clearly,
kui sa selle selgelt eristad,
you will discern why your life is being dealt with the way that it is.
Siis sa saad aru ka sellest, miks su eluga tegeletakse sellisel viisil, nagu sellega tegeldakse.
Because what's at stake here?
Sest mis on kaalul?
The Lord desires to release powerful resources to you.
Issand tahab vabastada väelisi ressursse sulle.
You see, that's what Joshua's leadership was all about.
Sellest oli Joosua juhtimine.
Releasing resources.
Ressursside nagu vabastamine.
But resources to someone who can be trusted.
Aga ressursid kellelegi, keda saab usaldada.
If you're selfish,
kui sa oled isekas,
then you have to be broken more.
siis sind tuleb rohkem murda.
If you have an agenda other than the kingdom of God,
kui sul on mingi muu kavatsus või päevakord kui Jumala kuningriik,
you must be dealt with some more.
siis sinuga peab veel tegelema.
If you're lustful,
kui sa oled himustaja,
you must be dealt with some more.
siis sinuga tuleb veel tegelda.
Because they're powerful resources that God desires to release to those who have relationship.
Sest on väelisi ressursse, mida Jumal tahab vabastada neile, kellel on suhe.
And here's the reason, brethren.
Ja põhjus on selles.
Because there is a cause in the kingdom.
Sest kuningriigis on üks siuke põhjus või sundima, mingi sundiv jõud.
Are you understanding me?
Kas te mõistate?
Everyone.
Kõik.
Are you understanding me?
Kas te mõistate?
When Ann and I were going through those minor difficult places,
Kui me Anniga olime läbi minemas nendest väikestest rasketest kohtadest,
I had no ability at that point to appreciate the spiritual understanding that would come out of those difficult places.
siis ma ei suutnud või me ei osanud hinnata neid vaimulikke mõistmisi, mis nendest olukordadest esile tulid.
But you know what that spiritual understanding became to me?
Aga tead, milleks see vaimulik mõistmine minu jaoks sai?
Resources.
Ressursid. Ressurss.
It's resources that I can give to the body of Christ.
Need on ressursid, mida ma võin anda Kristuse ihule.
When I speak to husbands and wives,
Kui ma räägin meestele ja naistele, abikaasadele,
I can tell them there's something on the other side of your conflict.
siis ma võin neile öelda, et teie konflikti teisel pool on midagi.
When I speak to men,
Kui ma räägin meestele,
I can say you can be unafraid to be the servant of all.
siis ma võin neile öelda, et sa ei pea kartma olla kõigi teenija.
Because if you're the greater one in the relationship,
Sest kui sina oled suhtes see suurem pool,
this is more than an ego trip.
siis see on rohkem kui egoreis.
Then you must become the servant of all.
Siis sina pead saama kõigi teenijaks.
When I put it real simple,
Ja kui ma ütlen seda väga
you
lihtsalt,
must choose to serve your wife,
sa pead valima teenida oma naist,
whether she deserves it or not.
kas ta väärib seda või mitte.
Because what do you come out of that with?
Sest mida sa sellega kaasa võtad?
Spiritual understanding that becomes a resource to you.
Vaimulikku mõistmist, mis saab sinule ressursiks.
Are you understanding me?
Mõistad sa mind?
The Bible said to the husband, dwell with your wife according to knowledge.
Piibel ütleb, et ela oma naisega vastavalt teadmisele.
Now, Armin, listen up now.
Kuula nüüd, Armin.
Because at first, a man doesn't know how to do that.
Sest alguses mees ei tea, kuidas seda teha.
You have to learn that.
Sa pead õppima seda.
How many men have you heard say, I just don't understand my wife?
Kui palju sa oled kuulnud mehi ütlemas, et ma lihtsalt ei saa oma naisest aru. Ma ei mõista teda.
If you've never said that, you aren't married.
Kui sa ei ole kunagi öelnud seda, siis sa pole abielus.
Ann and I have been married a little more than 37 years.
Me oleme olnud Anniga abielus veidi rohkem kui 37 aastat.
And you know what she still says to me?
Ja tead, mis ta ikka ütleb mulle veel?
I've lived with you all this long and you still don't fully understand me.
Ma olen sinuga nii kaua elanud ja sa ikka ei saa veel minust täiesti aru.
And you know what I tell her?
Ja tead, mis ma ütlen talle?
You're right.
Sul on õigus.
I said, but what I'm learning to do
Aga mida ma õpin tegema?
is dwell with you according to knowledge.
Elama sinuga vastavalt teadmisele.
So I study her.
Ja siis ma õpin teda või
I really do.
ma teen seda.
I'm a little bit better than I was 37 years ago.
Ma olen veidi parem kui 37 aastat tagasi.
A whole lot less resentful than I was 37 years ago.
Ja mul ei ole enam nii palju olukordi, kus mulle ei meeldi see, mis toimub.
And I finally stopped saying to the Lord.
Ja siis lõpuks ma enam ei öelnud issandale.
I finally stopped identifying with Adam.
Ma enam ei identifitseerinud end Aadamaga.
Lord, is this woman that you gave me.
Issand, siin on see naine, kelle sina mulle andsid.
I was doing a good job being by myself, but this woman you gave me.
Mul oli üksinda päris hea, aga see naine, kelle sa mulle andsid.
You see, this is what God knew.
Jumal teadis seda.
And I'm just about done here
Ma
tonight.
olen peaaegu lõpetanud.
Is that if you're going to have the resources,
Et on see, et kui sa saad need ressursid,
and I'm talking bigger than money here.
ma räägin rohkemast kui rahast siin.
I'm talking about the spiritual wisdom and understanding that's needed.
Ma räägin vaimulikust tarkusest ja mõistmisest, mida
That's
on
going
vaja,
to influence a generation.
mis saab mõjutama ühte põlvkonda.
There's some steps in between.
Seal on sammud seal vahepeal.
And one of them is marriage.
Ja üks neist on abielu.
Because see what happens in marriage.
Sest mis juhtub abielus?
You learn the art of relationship with another.
Sa õpid suhte kunsti teisega.
And you learn that the world is bigger than me, myself, and I.
Ja sa õpid, kuidas maailm on suurem kui mina, minu, mind.
And then the Lord will give you some children.
Ja siis Jumal annab sulle lapsed.
Listen up, Armin.
Kuula nüüd, Armin.
And that helps to enhance relationship even a little bit different direction.
Ja see aitab suunata suhet veelgi teises suunas.
But let me be plain about this.
Aga las ma olen selge selles.
Not a single married person should have a deeper relationship with their children.
Ühelgi abielu inimesel ei tohiks olla sügavamat suhet oma lastega kui oma abikaasaga.
Because that's the deepest one of all.
Sest see on kõige sügavam suhe.
It represents Christ and the church.
See esindab Kristust ja kogudust.
And so you come out of relationship
ja kui sa tuled suhtest,
with resources.
Sa tuled suhtest ressurssidega.
So from Levi,
nii et Leevist
you come to Ephraim.
Sa tuled Efraimi
Leadership.
juhtimine.